Hi, my name is Jesse Dow, and I am a top 100 influencer agent here at eXp Realty. I am a 6-time icon agent, and I've closed over 832 transactions on the eXp system. I've also generated over $1.1 million through eXp's revenue share program, and I've earned an incremental $200,000 in gifted stock through the eXp Culture Program. Now, this channel gives you elite, behind-the-scenes access to real numbers, real strategies, and updates here at eXp Realty so you can make the smartest decisions possible for you and your business. Now, if you're a serious agent like I know you are, who wants multiple revenue streams and real growth, then this is the channel for you. Consider subscribing. And today I'm going to be talking about eXp's training for agents that are looking to either elevate their game, or agents that are working part-time, or they have a job and they're looking to get into real estate. So I'm gonna flip my screen around and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what this looks like, because there's a lot of agents out there that are either that are part-time and trying to transition into real estate, or don't even know where to start and they're just looking to get their real estate license. I am telling you, if this existed when I was getting my real estate license and I jumped in, this would have been an absolute no-brainer. And eXp delivers the best of the best training for real estate agents in the industry. The one thing a lot of brokerages try to do is they try to say, like, we have like a one platform training program. I'm sorry to say, a one training platform program is absolute trash. The reason why is because the agent that's selling 0 homes and just looking to get started, or even the agent that's selling 8 homes a year, is a lot different than the agent that's selling 800 homes a year or even 80 homes a year. You need specialized training for specialized agents' needs. Agents need a progressionary pathway to go from 0 to empire. And that's exactly what we have here at eXp Realty. So let me flip my screen around and show you exactly what that looks like. So here I am at expuniversity.com. You can feel free to jump on this and check it out yourself. But if you come to the learning paths and you just click on emerging agents, this is what I'm going to focus on a little bit today because I think it's very important. And we have a program called FastCap. Now, if you've seen any of my other trainings and you've seen FastCap, don't jump off of this, because this is different than the FastCap I showed you guys before. The reason why that this is different is because there's something really exciting, which is called, so feel free to cruise on over to expuniversity.com. This is open to anybody. You're not gonna be able to get into the trainings because you are not an eXp agent yet. And if you are, feel free to follow along too. I love having you guys here. And just remember, we do co-sponsorship. So if you wanna chat about that, you can book a call with me as well, or reach out through text or email, phone calls. I love having those conversations. But today what I wanna focus on is the program called FastCap. And just remember, if you've seen my FastCap chats before, this is different. The reason that this is different is because look what they've injected here. FastCap After Dark. The reason that this is so important is because there's a lot of agents out there that are either part-time agents looking to transition into real estate, or just getting their licenses, and they really are fearful of quitting their job. Because remember, you don't start earning a paycheck in real estate till you start closing deals, unless you work as a salaried agent, like working for a builder, and typically builders want seasoned agents. So really you have to start from somewhere. You have to get your teeth kicked in, unfortunately. And if you go where the pros go to grow, which is eXp, it is an absolute night and day difference. And I know every brokerage is out there saying that they have the best leads, the best training, the best technology. Well, numbers don't lie, people do. And Leo, our CEO, said the other day, bigger isn't always better. Better is better. Profit is better. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of noise out there in this world, and people that don't understand the models and people that don't understand business and real data will try to use vanity metrics to fool the consumer at the end of the day, which is you. This is why doing your research and due diligence is important, because a lot of people try to throw out this opportunity of, we're new, you're gonna get in early, all these things. At the end of the day, it always goes back to selling real estate. If you don't sell real estate, you're not gonna get in early anywhere. A lot of these companies that are popping up are always like, we're the next eXp, but we're cheaper. Well, what does cheaper mean? Cheaper means less revenue share, it means less profit, it means less resources. And at the end of the day, this directly impacts the agents. So if what I want to challenge you with is going and looking at, if you're exploring brokerages, what you want to ask is what is the average sales per agent at your entire brokerage? Not your state, not your location, for the entire brokerage. Here at eXp Realty, we're 6.9 home sales per year per agent average. 6.9. That is absolutely insane. What was the national average last year? It was less than 2 homes sold per year. That is wild. The next closest brokerage on the cloud platforms, which I'm talking LPT, Real, Epic, there's a few other ones out there, is under 3 homes sold per average. So we are the biggest, which through the natural laws of data and numbers, is we should have a lower average considering the size of our brokerage. The number 1 company for average sales per agent is Compass. They have less than 50% of our agent count, but they're only doing it an incremental 0.2 homes per sales average per year. They're at 7.1, we are at 6.9, but they have half of the agent count. So realistically, if you took our bottom half of the agents, the top 50% agents, we would probably be at like 20 homes per agent sold, or homes sold per agent per year. So it's a very, very interesting thing, and it points back to like eXp is truly where the pros go to grow. And the reality is this little segment right here under training paths is really the reason why this is drawing so many top producing agents and agents that are looking to build a real business, because nothing in the world has ever existed before this right here. Yes, there's a lot of training out there and there's a lot of noise. It's mostly garbage, and they are literally just trying to sell you to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. We want to be able to start somewhere and have a clear path forward for success in our career, because what typically happens is an agent jumps into real estate, they have some success, they hit the ceiling, and they have nowhere else to go without going to another brokerage. That's very disruptive to anyone's business. The reason why eXp has a 97% retention rate from agents that sell over 20 homes a year is because of this right here. Think about that. 97% retention rate for agents that sell over 20 homes a year. That is absolutely wild. And it's because there is a massive advantage to leveraging a system right here. So eXp does all the heavy lifting. And if you're an agent watching this that's looking to get started, this is exactly where you need to be. So the reason I wanted to focus so much on Fast Cap After Dark is because, once again, eXp is meeting the agents where they are. How many agents out there are working a part-time job, or they are full-time and they're trying to get into real estate, but they have nowhere to start? I still remember getting my real estate license, and I was on YouTube doing so much research. I was reading every book, Millionaire Real Estate Agent, 7 levels of communication, The Millionaire Mindset, and the list goes on. So many great books. Be Obsessed or Be Average. Those are 4 of my favorite books for real estate agents looking to get started. If this would have existed, I would have been all in 100%, and I would have closed probably 10 times the amount of houses my first 2 years, which would have been really hard because I sold 52 homes my first 2 years. And this would have been a game changer. I was out there just doing my own research. This is why real estate has such a high turnover rate, is because think about this. eXp has about 67,000 US based agents right now. There's over 1.5 million NAR agents. So if you think about that, we have less than 10% of the agents, and there's over a 90% failure rate. So realistically, if there's 90% of the agents are in brokerages that aren't providing a clear pathway to success, guess what happens? They fail. And I've said this since day one. You can go back into my earliest content. I've always said it's not the agents that are failing, it's the brokerages, the brokers that are failing the agents. The reason why is because they don't understand what it takes. Real estate is very fragmented. And what I mean by that is, think about where you live. Is there a little convenience store around your house that's like an independently ran convenience store? So you think about that, and you go in there, there's stuff everywhere. It might not be the cleanest, it doesn't feel the safest, but the people that own it are probably very nice. Now you think about going into a 7-Eleven, it's very light, it's typically clean, it's organized, the people are friendly, all the things. That's the difference between an independent store and a corporate store. But the difference between 7-Eleven is they have programming, they have pricing, they know exactly what they're doing, they know where everything's going. and they're set up to serve a need of the consumer. And I'm not saying it's necessarily in that scenario, it's the best analogy. I'm just trying to paint a clear picture of, as an independent, you're doing everything you can to hold on and scrape by. But as a big company, you have the resources, you have the tools, you have the training, you have the plan forward, and that's exactly what we have here at EXP. And unfortunately, in the real estate world, everyone is self-employed. So if you're a broker owner, you know you're on borrowed time with your agents because you can only service the agents to the level in which you can provide them on your localized platform. And that's where I got stuck early on, and where I didn't realize how powerful EXP was, because I kept hitting my ceiling at my local brokerage. I was hitting my ceiling and I didn't know where to go. So I'd go from one brokerage. I started at KW, then I went to Next Home, which are both great brokerages, and they serve their purpose. And I loved my franchise owners in those models. It's just they couldn't take me to the next level. And when I got to EXP, the game had been flipped upside down. And the reason why is because EXP gives 50% of the company dollar back to the agents in the form of revenue share. So we're all incentivized to help our agents win. And the more we sell, the bigger we grow, the more we all make together. And that's the opposite of the franchise and the independent model. And the reason why it's different there is because they can't scale and grow. It's so broken, and they know this. It is what it is, and they're stuck. A lot of them are stuck into franchise agreements. The independent brokerages, they're typically so ingrained, and you see a lot of them move into EXP, and it's only the ones that are willing to take a step backwards, because there is a little bit of I would say, a substitution of power. And what I mean by that is EXP is now going to take on for those independent brokerage owners, and this is important for you to know as an agent that's getting started, or maybe you're part-time, is because the brokerage takes on a ton of liability. They take on a ton of cost with their resources, their tools, if they offer any. And so when EXP comes on, they take over all the broker role, they take over all the compliance roles, they take over all the heavy lifting, the E&O. And for brokerage owners, I've brought over dozens of brokerage owners into the EXP model. And you know what they all tell me is when they get to a certain level, they're like, it's unscalable, we can't go any further. So they love EXP because now most independent brokerage owners, they're either doing all those tasks themselves, or they're hiring an operations manager that's out there $100,000 a year salary, and they're just collecting checks and dealing with lawsuits. So remember, anyone that says a universal training platform is the best for the agents is absolutely out of their mind. You want specialized trainings that focus on where you are in your business. So Fast Cap After Dark does exactly that. They meet you where you are. They do all of their trainings at night. So it's live, it's in person in the virtual training platform. So it starts, this one goes August 6th through the 18th. If you're watching this after that, there's another one coming up. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 to 6 Pacific. Now, the thing is those are just the in-person. Every single day you have tasks. Now, if you're someone that you're like me and you're like, well, what does that look like? Oops, didn't mean to click on that. This is what they ask for on a weekly time commitment. In class, it's 3 live sessions a week. That's it, in-person trainings. However, they're asking you to complete 4 to 5 hours a day. And you might be thinking, I don't have 4 to 5 hours a day. You don't have to do the 4 to 5 hours a day. This is to get the optimal result. And if you're a brand new agent, you should be focused 100% on lead generation and just getting your system set up. That's it. And at EXP, we have that for you. If you're a part-time agent or you're just getting started, everyone's like, well, how much do I have to pay? EXP is $149 to get started and $85 a month if you never sold a single house. That is the best deal on the planet. And it teaches you how to be a real business owner. That is the difference here. So 4 to 5 hours a day to complete all these tasks. You can see the calendar right here. And here's the thing. If you come out of Fast Cap and you complete all of these things, so what's the result when you complete Fast Cap? I'm going to show you here in just 1 second. But look at week over week. Week 1 is owning your business. And these are all of the sessions. And remember, it's just 1 session live Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then the rest you're doing on your own. So number 1, week 1 is owning your business. So you can see the list right here. I'm not going to go through all of them because we're limited on time here. But number 2, week 2 is prospecting. Week 3 is database and lead generation. Remember, what did I say? It's all about generating leads and having your systems. So weeks 1 and 2 is about setting up those systems. Week number 3 is now about generating leads, Week 4 is all about marketing your brand. EXP stands behind every agent and their brand. I absolutely love that about EXP. Week 5 is about working and winning buyers. And week 6, it's all about winning sellers. No other training platform on the planet will do this for you. But here's the thing, if you come in here, you complete the tasks, you do all the things that they're asking you for, what are the results? And this is based on all of the agents that have completed or attended FastCap. So here's the thing, this is a live number that's tracked live. This is our EXP presentation. If you want this, reach out to me, shoot me a text message, give me a call, send me an email, or you can even schedule on a Calendly link down below. We can walk through this training or this entire presentation deck, but this is specifically for FastCap, celebrating FastCap agents. There's over 20,583 agents that have completed FastCap. That is mind-blowing. 20,000 agents in FastCap. I've gone through FastCap because I wanted to know what our agents were getting themselves into. There's been over 227 contracts signed and over 1,597 CMAs completed, 566 appointments, 9,348 real conversations, and 183 open houses. So what does that equal? 6.9 appointments per person, that's buyer and seller appointments, and 3.8 agreements signed, 3.8 contracts signed. You guys, when I was in real estate, this is 6 weeks, remember. When I was in real estate, I didn't close my first home for 12 weeks. 12 weeks it took me to close my first transaction. And here we are giving you a path forward to close or to sign 3.8 contracts in 6 weeks. This is an absolute game changer that agents like yourself should be taking advantage of that no other brokerage out there is doing. And I'm just here to tell you one last piece of advice is a real good process to really take your business to the next level. Besides reaching out to me and having a conversation how we can get started, I just want to leave you with a pro tip that if you're getting started and you're watching this and you've made it all the way this far, you should consider subscribing to the channel. But here's a very good pro tip for you. And I usually don't give away all my good stuff unless you're working with me here at EXP. And we don't have any additional team splits that we charge our agents. We earn all of our money back through revenue share. So agents ask me all the time, I have so many notes. Look, I ran out of notes last week. I took it. This is probably the most gold that I have. That's why I still keep this right here. But this is all about how you should be allocating your business based on an agent, based on your commissions. So you'll see overhead, staff, marketing, listings, buyers. Very simple solution. But here's the reality. What is the metric you should be using when generating real estate sales? You should be tracking a very simple metric. That is your 60-second conversations and 2-minute conversations. So my goal for every agent I work with, and if you want to change your business, this is no joke, this would take your business to the next level. We had an agent that just completed this and she hadn't been doing this tactic. Everyone loses sight and gets lazy for the most part. So unless you're like me, if you don't see behind my desk here, I have this yellow piece of paper behind my computer screen right here, and it tells me exactly what I need to do every single day. So if you're an agent watching this, you need to make 20 connections every single day, 20 connections. And you need to track your 60-second conversations and your 120 seconds, so 1 minute and 2 minute conversations. And then you need to make sure you're putting them into your CRM. And then you need to put them on a follow-up sequence. Do you know when I talk to top team leads all around the country, I'm talking agents, top team leads and top agents doing sick numbers. I'm talking 100 million plus. Do you know that 95% of them right now are upside down in their business and they don't know where the leaky bucket is? This is just a fact. It's very important that you do this. And when we go back to basics, and when I ask the team leads and top agents these simple question of how many connections are you making every day, and how many 60-second and 120-second conversations are your agents having, or even if you're just doing it by yourself, do you know that the number one answer I get is 5 conversations a day is what they think their agents are getting. And then when we look at the actual numbers, it's less than 2. Less than 2. It's very disappointing. And at the end of the day, it's all about the basics. People want to get fancy. They want to get on YouTube. They want to get on TikTok. They want to get on Instagram. They want to build this persona of who they are, and they think that's what business is. Remember vanity metrics? People that don't understand the business focus on vanity metrics. It's all about profitability at the end of the day and building a real business. I can tell you right now, there's no one else in the industry. There's a lot of these influencer agents out there. There's a lot of people on YouTube. I know a bunch of them, but the dual threat that we have that the other agents don't have is, number one, our influence is so great, but it's actually effective. We generate all of our sales through YouTube. I'd say, well, I shouldn't say all, but it's like 90+%. The second piece of the puzzle is we've built massive organizations that does over $1 billion in sales a year, over 1,000 agents in our network here, or through our network. Actively, I think, I don't know, it's in the hundreds of somewhere. I have to go back and double check, and I don't want to mislead you, because a lot of agents are like, oh, 1,000 agents, that's unattainable. So I want you to focus on deal one, agent one. That's all I want you to focus on. We'll get you down the path to the hundreds and thousands. And those aren't even people on your team. That's why I love EXP, is because it gave me a platform to expand without them actually working on my team. I do have my own team. But the second piece of the dual threat is actually building a team, building an organization. Now, agents always tell me, and I'm gonna leave this for another video, so that's why I say subscribe to the channel, but I'm gonna talk about the dirty word of recruiting. But if you're an agent just getting started in your business, you better get used to recruiting, because you're gonna need to recruit clients, you're gonna need to recruit vendors, you're gonna need to be recruiting. At the end of the day, I will give you the basics. I'm gonna make a video, so subscribe to the channel. On this next video, I'm gonna show you guys exactly the basics that you need to do to build an empire. And until next time, we'll catch you later.